Hi everyone, this is Sarah from the South Dakota Agricultural Heritage Museum with you today for another Make It Monday. Today we are going to make floral windsocks. We've had a lot of great spring weather lately and a lot of nice breezy days, and so I thought it would be a great way to add a little bit of color outside that can move around in the wind. And if you don't want to hang it outside, you can also hang it inside to add a little bit of color as well. So before we get started, I'll go ahead and go over the directions so that you know what you need to go. The first thing that you'll need is some paper. So you can use either probably cardstock or construction paper. That's probably the best to stand up to the wind outside. You'll need one full sheet of a background color. And so today I'm working on a light blue. And then you'll also need some other colors, and I just have a folder full of scrap paper from different projects at my house, and so I was able to get some scraps here, and so I've got green for the stems and the leaves, and then I just have yellow and purple and pink for my different flower parts, but you can make your flower parts any color you'd like. Next, you need a writing utensil, then a scissors, some glue, and today I'm using a glue stick, some streamers, a stapler, a hole punch, and some ribbon or string if you have it. So that's what you need to get started, and so let's go ahead and start making our floral windsock. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is cut out your flower pieces so you can start gluing them down. I've already pre-cut flower pieces, so I have 3 stems, and I cut these about 1 inch wide by about 6 inches long, and I have 3 of them. I have 6 leaves here in a stack, and I just made them in a teardrop shape that I can put on either side of my stem, and you can make these any shape you want. And then I also have 3 different flowers, 1 to go on each stem. Now you can do a few different things for flowers. Today I have one that is a tulip, so I have that ready to go. And then I have 2 standard flowers that I'm using as well. And I've already done one step and glued the center yellow piece in both of these. But I have the 3 flowers already cut out with all their pieces so that we can go ahead and get started. On your sheet of background paper, you'll want to start by gluing your stems down. So I'm going to take my glue stick and take the cap off of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue the back side of these stems. And I'm going to put one right here in the center. And then one on each side. So now I have my 3 stems. The next thing you'll do is add your flowers. And I like to do these at varying heights, so you can do them wherever you'd like. I'm going to start with my 2 outside flowers first. So I'll go ahead and glue the back of these. And go ahead and stick these down. I'm going to make my 2 outside ones a little bit shorter. Then I'm going to take my center flower, using my tulip today. And I'm going to glue this one down in the center a little bit higher than the others. I can see I have my flowers glued down. The main thing that you want to remember when you're gluing all these things down is that you want to make sure you have about 1 inch on each side that doesn't have anything on it, so that when we roll this up later and make it into a cylinder, you're not overlapping these sections and cutting off any of your great designs. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my leaves. I'm going to do 2 for each flower. If you want to do 1 per flower, that's totally fine too. Like I said, I just made these in a teardrop shape, so they were pretty easy to get cut out. And for my flowers, I just free-handed those, but you can also use print off a stencil online, find a cute clip art picture and trace that out. Any of those options are fine based on your artistic abilities. Get my last petal glued on, or excuse me, leaf glued on here. And then we are good to go. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces glued on. Like I said, 3 stems, 6 leaves, and then my 3 flowers. So that should be good to go. Once you have this all glued on the front, then we're actually going to flip it over, and we are going to start working on the back. And so I'm just going to put this face down, and I'm going to use my glue, and now I'm going to glue on my streamers. So you can use any color streamers that you like. I'm using green today, and I have pre-cut 6 streamers here, and I made them about 15 inches long. You can make them any length you want. If you want longer tails, you can go ahead and do that. You can cut different designs in the end if you don't want them just flat. I have mine cut just flat today to make it nice and simple. And so really anything you like to do, you can mix and match colors, whatever you want to do to make it yours. So you want to make sure you're gluing the streamers on the bottom of your page here, because you don't want the streamers coming out the top. And so make sure you're working on the bottom. I'm going to take my glue stick and run a few lines of glue here so that it's covered with a strip of glue. And then take my streamers and put those right in the glue. This would be a fun project to do with really any age kids. You might have to help them a little bit with the cutting, but overall it should be a pretty nice and simple project to do with the kiddos at home. And so I've gone ahead and I have that done. So I have all my streamers again on the bottom of where I have my flower picture. If you don't have streamers at home, that's totally fine. Another few options that might work, you could hang ribbon or string from the bottom, or you could also take some paper and go from the bottom as well. If you do paper, a fun thing that you might want to do, I'll cut a strip of paper here to explain what I'm talking about, but you might want to do an accordion fold, where you kind of fold it back and forth like a fan or an accordion. So it looks like this, nice and zigzaggy, and then you can glue that to the inside, and then it'll be a little added extra piece of fun when it's out blowing in the wind. So if you're using paper, that could be a fun thing to try too. So now that I have this much done, I would go ahead and let this sit and dry for a little bit according to whatever your glue says. I want to get this done for you in one video, and so I'm going to go ahead and keep gluing, but like I said, it'd be a good idea to let this sit for a little bit. But for this step, you're going to actually make it into your cylinder. And so I'm going to use two things today. I'm going to use glue, and I'm also going to use a stapler. Glue is just so that you can hopefully get it glued from top to bottom. And your stapler is to hold it in place to give it a little extra stability. And so I'm going to go ahead and take my glue, and I'm going to run it up in about a 1-inch chunk up one of my, either my left or right side, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. So now I've got that glue down there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and roll this up into a circle and overlap this on the side so that we can make it into our windsock. And so, working from the top, I'm going to put in a staple up here to help hold it together. And then I'm actually going to do the same at the bottom to help hold it together. You might need a few extra hands to help out with this, just to make it a bit easier, which is great for you to have your kids hold and help hold that so you can get it stapled. Okay, there we go. So now I've got my cylinder down and I have my windsock all ready to go with my streamers at the bottom. And now that you have this step done, the last thing that you're going to want to do is actually have this so that you can hang it outside. And so I'm using a hole punch today and some ribbon. And so you're going to punch 2 holes on the opposite side here. Didn't quite get that second one through, but it is now. Now I have a cut of ribbon here, and so I'm going to go ahead and put this through one side and tie it off. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Put this right through and tie it off. I would maybe do a few knots just to make sure it's nice and secure. Add a second knot over here to this side. And then if you want to use your scissors, you can cut off your excess ribbon or string. And then you have a hanger. So you can hang this outside or inside again. Either way works, anywhere where you want to add a little bit of color. And so this was making a floral windsock today. Again, if you have any questions about this Make It Monday or any of our other Make It Mondays that we've done at the South Dakota Agricultural Heritage Museum, you can go ahead and give me an email and I will respond to you to answer your questions. Again, my name is Sarah and I'd be happy to help. So thanks for joining us again on this Make It Monday, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.